Hello. In this session, we want that our API should get hosted on the app service and it should be available on the internet publicly. One option is that we can create app service instance on Azure portal and publish API to it using Visual Studio publish option. But we do not want to host it manually. We want to automate the process so that every time we push changes to our repository's main branch, the updated code should get hosted automatically to app service. In short, our repository's main branch and app service hosted API should be always in sync. For that purpose, we will be writing a CI/CD pipeline. Let us have a quick look on what app service is. Azure App Service is an HTTP based service for hosting web applications, REST APIs, and mobile backends. Applications run and scale with ease on both Windows and Linux based environments. It is fully managed service with built-in infrastructure maintenance, security, patching, and scaling. Plus it provides all these benefits. As it is fully managed service, we need not to take care of server and all other infrastructure details. With this basic, let us go to Azure portal and create an instance of app service. Go to the Azure portal, create a resource, create web app, select the subscription, select resource group, give some meaningful name to your web app, publish type is a code, runtime stack .NET 6, select the nearest location and select the plan. Let us go with free plan for now. Review your plan and click on create. In few seconds, web app will get created. Click on go to resource and now you are inside your app service or web app. This web app will host our API application. We can directly go to Visual Studio and publish to this, but as we discussed, we want to write CI/CD pipeline for this purpose. To write CI/CD pipeline, we should know some basics of YAML. So let us have a look on some YAML basics. YAML is a human readable data serialization language. It's like XML and JSON. Serialization language is a standard format which we use to transfer data. Generally, we use YAML to write configuration files for DevOps. YAML is a superset of JSON, so any valid JSON is a valid YAML. We may not go very deep in YAML, but we should understand basic syntax to write our CI/CD pipeline file effectively. So we will go through these 8 points that we should know before writing our configuration files. Comments are simply marked using hash. Key value pairs can be represented like this. On left hand side of colon is a key and on right hand side of colon is a value. And in JSON we need double quotes. Here in YAML we don't need it. Objects can be simply represented using indentations or spaces. While working with YAML, these spaces plays very important role. In JSON, if you can see, we can write employee object something like this. All properties of employee are enclosed in braces, but here we don't need braces. These properties are simply identified using indentations. Lists can be created using hyphens. So this is single string list. Single string list can be also represented like this, and this is list of objects. So these are various options that we should aware of. Boolean value, you can have true or false for any property. If you want to write multi-line string, then you simply need to use this pipe and this string will be considered as multi-line string. The equivalent JSON can be like this. You can see \n in between the strings. Then single line string. If you are writing a single line string in multiple lines just for readability and you want to mark that string as a single line string, then you have to use greater than sign. Multiple YAML documents in same file can be separated using 3 dashes. So this is sample JSON which can be written in YAML like this. So you can see it is more readable. There are no braces, there are no double quotes, so it takes less space than JSON. So these are few basic things that we should know before going to the pipeline configuration. Now let us have a quick look on some CI/CD pipeline basics, and then we will create our first CI/CD pipeline. At high level, CI/CD pipeline is composed of multiple stages like this. This is a stage 1, this is a stage 2. Every stage has multiple jobs like this, job 1, job 2, and inside job there are multiple steps which actually does the work. CI/CD pipeline can be triggered using manual trigger. It can be triggered by push to a repository, or it can be triggered at scheduled times, or it can be also triggered after another build finishes. In our example, we will be using push to repository trigger. So whenever code will be pushed to the main branch of our repository, our CI/CD pipeline will get executed. It will build our application and will publish it to app service. As we have seen that our CI/CD pipeline has multiple stages. Example of stages can be build stage, test stage, then we can have deploy stage. Then inside the stage, multiple jobs are there. There can be two types of jobs: the jobs which will need agent to execute, and the jobs which doesn't need agent. Agent is nothing but virtual machine provided by Azure infrastructure. And then inside job we have seen that there are steps. So step can be created using script or task. Script is something like DOS commands, and tasks are something which is predefined, or you can say that library of scripts which does particular task for us. I will put the link in description where you can check which predefined tasks are available to write CI/CD pipeline. This is another example of job which doesn't have agent. It has single step which has script which is just invoking REST API. So it will not need any virtual machine. But if you are building or publishing, then you will need virtual machine for that purpose. So such type of jobs will need agent. So this is high level representation. These are some important links that you should go through. If you will go to this first one, it will give you brief introduction to all terms that we need while working with CI/CD pipelines. This image can give you little idea about how CI/CD will work. We will edit our code, will push code to repository. Actually, in our case, code to main branch will go using pull request that we will see. It will trigger our continuous integration. Continuous integration is a step where we build and test, and this step will create artifact. In simple word, you can say package of DLLs, and then these artifacts will be used by continuous deployment step to deploy it to target. So with this basic knowledge, let us write our first CI/CD pipeline file. To write our first CI/CD pipeline, we have to log in to DevOps portal, that is dev.azure.com. Once you logged in to DevOps portal, go to the project, go to pipelines, click on create pipeline. Our code is on Azure repos Git. Select that option, select the project. Now we want to configure our pipeline for ASP.NET Core. So don't select this classic ASP.NET. Go down here, you will see ASP.NET Core. So select this one, and your sample YAML file will get created. Here you can see that it will be pushed to your root directory of the repository, and it will be always named as azure-pipelines.yaml. There is one another way also using Azure portal, which is now referred as a classic way. And this is a new approach which Microsoft suggests going forward, because this way all your CI/CD configuration will be pushed to your repository, and it can be updated with time. Maintaining its history and updating it as per the requirements will be much easier. So here you can see that the trigger is set to main branch. So whenever there will be code change in our main branch, this CI/CD pipeline will get executed. As our app service is using Windows, we would like to use Windows here. I am changing it to Windows latest. So this pipeline will use Windows VM to do its tasks. In variables section, you can define various variables. Here single variable is there, that is build configuration, and we want to use release build configuration. This is a list of steps. The very first step is to build our .NET application with release configuration, and this is just display name which will be shown on UI for this step. So once application is built, we want to publish it. So we are writing next step. For publishing, we have .NET Core CLI @2 task. So we want to use publish command, and we are publishing web project here. So these are inputs we are providing. Make sure that these are at same level. You can also use assistant to add these type of tasks. For example, if we will remove this, add assistant, you can have .NET Core, and we want to publish the application, and we can simply add it. So this will add publish task for us. Next, we want to deploy these artifacts to a app service. To write this step, we can again use assistant, search for web app. You can see Azure Web App Service here. Select the service connection, select app type. It is web app on Windows. App name Orion API web app dev. We are not using deployment slots right now. We will definitely use it in future. With these basic details, click on add, and one simple task will get created which will be responsible to deploy artifact created by this step to our web app or app service. We can save this YAML file to our repository. So actually it will get saved to main branch of our repository, and we also want to run it so that it will build our application, publish artifact, and deploy it to app service or web app. So let us click on save and run and check if it works fine or not. Commit directly to the main branch, click on save and run. This job is queued. You can click on it, examine it. It is saying that this pipeline needs permission to access a resource before this run can continue. So this is one time activity. You need to give permission. Click on view and click on permit button. Permit. So now pipeline is executing all the steps in the sequence. First it will check out the code. For that obviously it will need VM, or we can call it agent. So these VMs will be provided by Azure itself when our pipeline is running, and then that VM will get destroyed automatically. So we need not to take care of all these infrastructure resources. Once code is checked out on that particular VM, then it will build it. Once it will build, it will publish the artifacts. To publish that artifact, it will need some storage, which will again provided by Azure automatically. And then from that storage, that artifact will be picked up and deployed to our web app or app service by this step. All steps are executed successfully. Now we can go to our app service and check if our application is available there or not. Go to the Azure portal, go to your web app or app service. Here you can see the base URL of the instance you created. Copy it, open the new tab, paste that base URL /swagger, as our Swagger documentation is at this path, and you can see that now our APIs are available on this URL. With this, let us stop here. If you find this content useful, please like and subscribe. If you wish to receive a notification whenever a new episode is published, then do not forget to hit the bell icon and click all option in the frequency drop down. Thank you.